All right. Hello, Professor, and here we go. I'll start explaining my thing. So it doesn't look like it, but he is printed to screen. If I go to game, got a little sprite there. He's custom imported from something my brother made actually, and I got a bunch of different facing directions of him, but I'm just using the front facing one because I don't know how to add animations. So that will do for now. Anyway, let's get going on it. He draws to the screen nicely. Um, as you can see, I got my sprite changer over here. I set him just to the default color in the sprite changer because I like his default color, but I'll change it in a second. So we got some movement right here. I'm holding down shift so that he doesn't fly all over the screen. You can see it, but here he is. So, I got all sorts of movement going on. So, you see, he flies back and forth. Woo, look how fast it is. That's cool. Okay. And then I hit space. He goes back to the middle by setting the vector. And here is just all additive. We're adding a vector here. Add, add, add. So, well, and I might as well show you while I'm just going to demonstrate everything first, and then I'll go over it. If I hit P, I don't have anything printing to the console to show this, which would have been a good idea. But as you can hear, I'm clicking WASD or the arrow keys, and he's not moving. He's paused. And then oh, I guess I can't undo it. Oh, I thought I could. Well, huh. Oh, now it's working. Okay. So, as I just poorly demonstrated, I can unpause. I guess I should say I could toggle the input handlers. I can toggle the behavior of the code, the mono behavior, I think is what it refers to as. So that you can't move, you can't move. So, there's all of that. Um, so then while we're at it, um, and I'm just demonstrating everything, I'll press Q here, and he's gone. And once you press Q, you can't really get it back. We don't have code for it. But he's inactive now. He's not rendering. He's doesn't exist. Goodbye, alpha. Gone. So let's stop that. Bring him back. And now let's do a build so I can show you that escape function because that's really nice. Really, really nice. All right. Unity opens it. We got this nice thing going on here. See, he's running around. And then we hit escape, and it goes away. Boom, closes, done, done and done. And I wanted to do this earlier. I know I'm jumping around here. I had to remake this video once because I didn't like the first one. But I want to put this inside my movement enabled because I don't want you to be able to just pause it like that. If the movement is not enabled. I don't know if that's a good thing right now, but this feels right. When it's paused, I can't just teleport him back to the origin. I think that's better like that. Let me just make sure that this is actually in here. It is. Okay. So we'll start with I don't know if I have to show the sprite changer, but we'll start with it. You know, I make a variable for our renderer called the renderer, so it's easy to know, and I also make a variable for color. And we just get the sprite's game object. Well, we get the sprite's renderer, the sprite renderer from our game object. So from alpha, we get alpha's sprite renderer, and that's how we change these colors. Um, I have some code in here. It sets this down to alpha 1, so it just sets it down to no specific color at first. Um, I got some code in here for, as long as it's not null, and it's a catching code here, error catcher. As long as it's not null, we can run this, change the color, and the designers can see this little bar here, which is nice. If they want something to be a different tint, it's a rare spawn, or it's a different elemental type. Now you can change the color a little bit. You know, we can change the color of the elves on level 5. So now we'll break down this input handler's code. So starting off, I made an object for my game object. I called it this alpha. It was originally this ship, but he's not a ship anymore. I got alpha in here. It's a little robot guy. So this alpha. Then I made a variable for a transform to hold our transform data. One for speed that holds our vector and magnitude, and then two more floats, for one for the x-axis and one for the y-axis, to store those data values too, right here. We got a speed of 1, we got an x1 and a y1. It just sets it. If I change, oh, well, it's running, but if I change it, I'll change them both here. If I change that, now he'll move extra far. Wait a minute. No, he won't. Anyway, this is what makes him move extra far. If I set the speed to 4, that's what, speed to 4, look, he's jumping around. Boom. Jumping. Really, really jumping right here, too. Okay, I don't mind that. So now after I've got that down, I have this code right here to toggle the, well, I skipped that. Let's go back. I got a boolean right here. That's just called move enabled. I named it move enabled, so I mean, I want the variable to say to have a really close relationship for what it does. So I automatically set it to true, so that right when we start out, our input handlers are, that's what I call them. I don't know if that's correct, but our input handlers down here, these are all accessible as long as if movement enabled is true. And if it's not true, well, then you can't move. You can't move. And that's what happened earlier when I showcased P. I'll do it again, just cause. I hit P, and I'm no longer moving. No longer. So then, we got all that covered. We'll come down here. I showed the space earlier. We just set a vector. We say, hey, our position is this vector now. And it takes us back to the origin. Takes us right back to the middle. And earlier I showcased in our build that I hit Q, or sorry, I read quit. I hit escape, key code escape, and it exited out of our application. Really nice. Kind of basic for when you're testing something and you don't have any menus yet, but it gets you out of the game so you can go back to editing, which is nice. And then I showcased Q earlier. We just say if you press Q, we're going to set alpha set active to false. And as you said earlier, to the engine, alpha no longer exists. He is gone. Poof, thin air. So that's that. I got some comments on pretty much everything. I had comments on this from when we did it in the shell, and I just never took them off, so every single one of them has comments, which, in my opinion, if it's the same exact code over and over again, is maybe a little bit much. But then I have this nice comments where I say, if the shift key is pressed down, move 1 unit, otherwise move as normal. And that's nice. It blankets this whole kind of thing. And I got that going on up here too. Debating on setting this to awake, but I don't know what that would do yet. So I would assume just as soon before it does anything, it gets the transform, which I don't It might be cool, it might not be cool, we'll see. Anyway, so down here I have, well, I have additive movements in here too. It's just by 1 unit though. And I'm using the minus in here. And then down here, I use a different technique. Down here I have TF dot position, which I guess I could actually maybe get rid of all this, see if it still works. But yeah, whatever. This is good for now. I could probably set it of my vector variable up here, but we're good. So then what we do here is we just add my vector that we created right here. We just add it to the TF position plus the speed, or multiplied by the speed actually. And then for my negative values, my left and my down, I have it to minus, plus or minus equals. So it just subtracts it. And I guess if it was the other way around, it could still be considered additive if I had done a different thing in here, but that works. My brain likes that, so that's cool. And that is pretty much everything except for this comment. We'll just say variable to store game object. And there we go. I would comment what this class does, but it says what it does. It moves. And I mean, while that's true, it's more of an input handler, but that works. That works for our purposes. We got 2 scripts in here. I think things shouldn't get too confusing. Okay. I believe I have my times in here for my last one. I believe that covers it. I showed the speed. It's bug free to my knowledge. Cool. All right, Professor. I'll see you next Tuesday or whenever we want to just hang out and talk about games again.